everyone. On behalf of Banking Frontiers, on the Insurance Leadership Series, today we have the privilege of meeting Mrs. Girija Subramaniam, the chairperson, the CMD of Agriculture Corporation of India. Now, almost 3 decades you have been in the general insurance space, and today you have come to the direct insurance side. How do you find this new role, especially you are at the number one?
It's amazing. I always have believed that change is the only constant. And adaptation to change is what brings the best out of a leader. And having said that, I think it has been a huge change of role because after being in the reinsurance space for 34 years, right from my formative years across my entire career and reaching to the level of a senior general manager in a reinsurance company, at that stage being selected to head a direct insurance B2C company, and that too with the rural population, that too farmers. I think it's the biggest challenge I've faced in my career, and I'm glad I've got it at this stage in my career because it just makes me push my limits, learn new things every single day, and that's exciting.
Good. That's really nice. A very positive way of looking at things from a leadership point of view. Now, agriculture is one of the very important things for an Indian market, where almost we say the majority of the Indian thing lives in the rural. What are the initiatives that have been taken by the Agriculture Corporation?
Actually, our company was founded in 2002. We just completed 20 years in December 22 last year. And we are in our 21st year now. And principally, we have been the scheme implementers for the Government of India. Earlier, the various schemes of the Government of India which were in existence, the NAIS, the MNAIS, the PMFBY, which was introduced in 1617, which is, the abbreviation for the Prime Minister's Fasal Bima Yojana, which gives a scheme for crop insurance to all the farmers in the country across all states. There are 2 seasons of farming, as you know. One is the Kharif and one is the Rabi. Across these seasons, the various crops that are, taken up for farming by the farmers. This scheme caters to all of that, and then it is a state subject, basically, agriculture. So, though the scheme is, rolled out by the central government, the adaptation of the same is by the state government. So, both the governments are involved. Also, the scheme provides for subsidy. There is a 2% premium that has to be met by the farmer, and beyond 2%, it is shared by the state and the central government in equal proportion. So, for Rabi, it is 1.5%, which is borne by the farmer. Beyond that, it is shared by the state and the central government. And for other crops, which are commercial crops, it is 5% the farmer has to bear, and beyond that, the state and the central government, they bear in equal proportions the subsidy. So it's a subsidized scheme, and the farmer is encouraged to enroll himself into this scheme. This is made voluntary for both non-loany farmers. So, the government has done all the possible enablements to see that the scheme reaches the last mile of farmers in the country. We've been instrumental in being the principal scheme implementers for the government. However, last year we've had a change in our composition by when we applied to the regulator for extending our business to the allied sectors in agriculture, because crop is one of the major parts of agriculture. We have a huge market out there for livestock, for aquaculture, for sericulture, apiculture, and the like other allied businesses. So we have got licensed for those products, and for the last 1 year, we are very busy expanding our horizons into these uncharted territories, trying to write a lot more business, trying to customize products for our farmers.
Thank you for enlightening us with the various schemes that are available. Now, when we look at the data, overall composition of GDP, almost 18% of GDP agriculture contributes. Whereas if you look at 40% of the people are engaged in agriculture. So there is a huge amount of people who are working on agriculture. How do we help them by insurance? And how does Agriculture Corporation help all these people?
Actually, yes, it's a huge, the sector of the population is almost 40 to 45% who are engaged in agriculture in some way or the other. And insurance is the need of the hour for all of them, because, and especially in recent times where the vagaries of weather have really been become more unpredictable than ever before, I think the farmer is at really at a requirement to get financial protection against climatic changes. And agriculture insurance company has always been striving to try and reach and these products to the last mile farmers. We have in fact tried to see that the government schemes are taken to the farmers. We have employed people at district levels and gram panchayat level, which is the village level in India. And we've tried to gather people at farmer cooperatives, educate them on insurance. Largely, insurance is a subject where the mis-selling or the unawareness of insurance is what is creating the distrust or the lack of enthusiasm to enroll into these schemes. And since we realize that this is the main impediment, our main forte, our main thrust is in trying to see that we get the understanding right of the farmer. And then we sell our products in the right earnest with the right message to the farmer as to what he actually will be rewarded with by taking this cover. And the fact that it's not a financial guarantee, it is evoked or it responds only when one of the losses covered under the contract.
Now we are in a digital revolution. A lot of things are happening on the digital space. Do you feel the fintech companies can contribute a greater extent in reaching out to the masses? As you rightly said, a lot of farmers who are requesting for this. Do you feel this technology can help you in reaching out to the last person?
This is the only way we can reach.
Oh,
Because you see, India is such a vast country with so many geographic variations, and you see the length and breadth of the country. Sometimes it's difficult terrain also that is there. So, going physically and trying to enroll farmers is actually impossible. So I think it's a blessing the way our government has worked in trying to open automatic bank Jan Dhan accounts. That is a blessing for us. It has been the start, actual base from where the entire automation and all the entire fintech companies have got into it, big time now in India to develop use machine language and artificial intelligence to develop apps that enable us to enroll these farmers. So we are also utilizing these kind of apps wherein we will be able to automate the enrollment of farmers. Either the farmer himself, enrolls, or we send our representative. We
okay.
have a representative across a particular district, and he gets in touch with farmers. Who is able to talk the regional language, explain to them about the
Right.
product, and enroll them. So fintech companies have a very large role to play in distributing our products. And I think this is the key to fast penetration in this country.
When we are talking about the various enablers that are happening in the country, and as Man rightly said, it's all about the fintech companies which can do a lot for reaching out to the rural masses. Now, you are mentioning about the new products that are being. Now, when we are coming up with the new products, because you have been branded as a pure agriculture corporation. Now, as you get into the different lines of space of livestock, different type of rural business, and I understand that there are going to be rural insurance companies exclusively. How are our colleagues and the market adapting towards the change?
The year 22-23 has been a massive stride of transformation for the Indian insurance industry, with the regulator taking the lead, the lead role in bringing in lot of transformational changes in a very, very positive way, in a very enabling way, with the customer focus that was never, which was unprecedented, and trying to see that we give products that the customer wants, trying to enable the entire ecosystem, the financial inclusivity, to see that we are able to reach the customer faster than ever before. There is a natural encouragement for new companies to come up with a rural focus, because that's where rural India lives. That's where the most of India lives. 70% of our population is in rural India. So if you want to address India as a nation, rural is where you should be. And rural companies are more than welcome to be there, because they're only helping hands for us in our mission to take these schemes to bring inclusivity and to see that India becomes a developed economy by 2047.
Oh, fantastic. Competition has got to be there, which really gives benefits to reach out to the last person. That's wonderful, man. That's the right approach also, because we are a huge country and we require a lot of changes that have to happen. Now, do you feel there is a gap between the industry and academia, where academia can really help reach out? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, no amount of education is actually worth it if it cannot be put to application. That is my belief. And I think India, the literacy rate in some parts of the country is extremely high, but that does not reflect in the way these schemes reach the masses. Even then, the understanding of insurance as a subject or what it actually covers is absolutely missing. It's more on hearsay that the population generally, takes and accepts these products. So I think academia can really, bring in that kind of enlightenment among the students, trying to tell them, citing recent examples of pandemic and several the catastrophic, events that have happened, and how insurance has really, boosted up the economy in a big way by helping out during those times of crisis and being the real savior during those times. So, insurance has to be an essential risk management tool that needs to be chosen by our common masses. And I think there is a very big role of academia also in trying to be innovative around this subject, trying to create new products, trying to bring in the real, to address the requirements of the farmers. Sometimes our products don't sell because they actually don't meet the requirements of the farmers. So actually studying the needs, the R&D could be done on what are the actual needs of the market, and that could be passed on by way of research papers to the insurers. They would definitely be more than happy to have customized products which would bring better success rate with customer acceptability.
Great. What are the transformational things that you have to initiate? Because when you say you have to launch new products, your employees, our colleagues have to embrace technology, our colleagues have to embrace to new thoughts, because these are the covers they have done, because they are branded as a great and exclusive insurer only in agriculture. So any thoughts on the transformational exercise that you are planning?
Yes, there has been a big initiative around transformation because we have been a scheme implementer for the last 20 years, and only last year we started actually having our own products. So this whole process of being an agent for implementing a product which is owned by the government of India, from there to owning our own products, customizing and tailoring products which are the need of the retail market in agriculture, trying to sell them to the clientele or the audience that requires it, and then trying to see that we are able to service the claim in a time that makes sense for the farmer, trying to see that we are being a reliable partner in that customer's entire gamut of things, trying to be there when he requires us the most, has been the biggest change that we have envisaged. Our own internal employees have never actually thought about our own product, our own customers from that exclusivity point of view, and also the fact that we had to build capability and skill development around addressing other lines of business like livestock, sericulture, apiculture, which was new to agriculture insurance company. We had to actually, liaise with institutions that handle livestock, who know more about livestock, actually take customized trainings from them so that we understand the product that we are developing and we are able to cater to the needs of the farmers.
Right. Agriculture is something where suddenly there could be a drought, suddenly there could be a flood, especially more so in the climatic change. Now, when you go to the international market to reinsure your agriculture, how does the international market treat the Indian agriculture sector as far as reinsurance is concerned?
India is one of the most important agriculture markets for many reinsurers in the
Ooh.
world. We are one of the most sought after markets. It's one of the most happening agriculture markets. And
Right.
whenever I get reinsurers who visit me from the US, Europe, and other nations, they are always surprised at the kind of schemes that are rolled out here. They are actually amazed at the extent of the numbers that are involved here, whether it is farmers, whether it is sum assureds, whether it's extent of crops, the different varieties of crops, the climate, because India is has a variance of geographic climatic zones as well as the risk associated with it. So it is not the same. Every state has a different hazard. So, and the crops associated with each state are also different. So the scheme pricing and premium pricing for each one of these crops across different states is vastly different. And reinsurers are actually amazed and really, curious and wanting to know more about this country and about all the schemes that we launch, about the products that we have.
Wonderful to know about the diversity wherein the international reinsurers are very keen on the Indian market. Thank you, Girija ma'am, for being with us. Thank you for your time. Wishing you all the very best.